Imagine waking up tomorrow morning, scrolling through the news, and seeing this headline: all Antarctic ice melted overnight. No typos, no clickbait, just gone. The entire frozen continent at the bottom of the planet, home to 90% of Earth's ice, has turned into one enormous puddle. At first, you might think, cool, maybe penguins can finally get a tan. But then reality hits. That's 26.5 million cubic kilometers of ice, enough to fill 100 million Empire State Buildings per minute for about a year. So what would actually happen if Antarctica decided to go liquid overnight? Would we just need taller beach umbrellas, or would we need new continents? Let's find out.
When all that ice melts, it doesn't just vanish, it becomes water. A lot of water. If we poured all that Antarctic meltwater into the oceans at once, sea levels would rise by about 58 meters. That's the height of a 19-story building. Goodbye, New York. Goodbye, London. Goodbye, Tokyo and Buenos Aires. Hello, New Atlantis. Most of Florida would disappear. So would Bangladesh, the Netherlands, and every tropical island you've ever wanted to retire to. Venice? Gone before lunch. And for a brief, surreal moment, fish would swim where cars once honked.
But that's just the beginning. Antarctica isn't only ice, it's a colossal weight pressing down on the Earth's crust. When that weight suddenly melts, the crust rebounds upward like a mattress after someone gets off it. Scientists call this isostatic rebound. But really, it's just Earth saying, finally. The entire continent could rise hundreds of meters in a geological blink, while other parts of the world might sink slightly as the planet redistributes its mass. It's like Earth trying to adjust its belt after a massive dinner.
And then there's the climate. Antarctica acts like Earth's air conditioner. Without it, the planet's entire climate system would freak out. Ocean currents like the Gulf Stream depend on cold polar water, and without it, they could collapse. Weather patterns would go wild. Deserts could flood, rainforests could dry up, and hurricanes would start showing up to parties they were never invited to. The newly melted fresh water would also dilute the oceans, disrupting how heat moves around the planet. Within months, temperature differences could grow extreme. Tropical regions might bake, while others freeze under record snow. Congratulations, you've just broken Earth's thermostat.
As coastlines vanish, over 1 billion people would have to move inland. Entire cities would migrate. Humanity would become the world's biggest nomadic species. And in the south, the ice-free Antarctica would reveal mountains, valleys, and even ancient rivers hidden for millions of years. It might eventually become habitable, though habitable means rocky wasteland with occasional penguin bones. But over time, plants could take root. Mosses, lichens, maybe even forests. Imagine hiking through Antarctic National Park, where mosses grow where glaciers once ruled.
So if all the ice in Antarctica melted overnight, we'd lose our cities, our coasts, and probably our sanity. But hey, we'd gain the world's largest lake where Antarctica used to be. Tourism slogan, visit Lake Antarctica. It's like the Bahamas, but colder and way more depressing. Of course, in reality, this couldn't happen overnight. Even in the most extreme scenarios, it would take thousands of years for all that ice to melt. But imagining it vanish in a single night helps us see how fragile our balance really is. Because every glacier that shrinks, every iceberg that drifts away, is a small piece of that thought experiment happening, not overnight, but right now. And maybe that's the real question. If the planet is melting, slowly, quietly, are we moving fast enough to notice? The world wouldn't end in a splash. It would end in a slow drip.
As the last drop of Antarctica melts into the rising sea, we're left staring at the reflection of our own choices, the proof that creation and destruction often come from the same hands. But what if one day those hands weren't ours anymore?
What if the power to shape the future belonged to something we built, and it decided to turn against us? Continue the journey of imagination and discovery. Watch the next episode. What if artificial intelligence decided to start a war? Because every ending is just the beginning of another question.